I'm Tom Temin, and my guest is Ricardo Belmar. He's the Director of Product Marketing for Hughes and EchoStar Company. And Ricardo, let's start with the idea of how long it's taken for broadband to become accepted in organizations and commercial and government enterprises. It took a while, but now it's here. What's changed, and what makes the Hughes offering something that organizations need to have?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, Tom. Appreciate it. It's interesting with the history of broadband is that, of course, this started out as a primarily consumer technology that over time was adopted by various enterprises and businesses. And one of the things that's evolved with broadband is the overall capacity, the size of the pipes, the amount of bandwidth that you can get with it, as well as how that access has been implemented by all the carriers. Originally, most of this capacity was oversubscribed a bit. It was designed for lots of consumers to use it versus a lot of enterprises. So there was a little bit of a hesitation on some businesses to adopt it as they were concerned about, would you always have access to the bandwidth that you're buying with that service? And today, there have been a lot of great developments. Hughes in particular has invested quite a bit of resources in developing what we call our active technologies. And these really focus in two areas that address those aspects of broadband technology. One is what we call our active QoS technology. And what this does is...
That's quality of service.
That's correct. Yes, thank you. It's a quality of service technology, which is actually very familiar to most enterprises in traditional T1 network deployments. And what we've done is deliver that same functionality on top of a broadband architecture that's independent of the carrier. So when Hughes delivers a managed broadband service, we can take our quality of service technology and apply it to any other provider's broadband network that we're delivering. And what happens is the system is always measuring and sampling the underlying access layer to determine what's the true capacity. And what I mean by that is that most broadband networks, when you sign up for, say, a 3 megabit link, it's not always 3 megabits. Because of that oversubscription, sometimes of day it may be 3, it may be 2, or it may be lower. Our system is always monitoring and determining what's the true capacity. And the significance of that is that now within our router, we can apply some flow control to all the data traffic that's entering that network so that we never offer more load than what's actually available on that link. And we manage that without having to resort to dropping packets or any detrimental types of techniques, because we can adjust the flow of the traffic dynamically. We're also looking at what types of applications are being used. So, great example, if you're trying to run a voice over IP phone call over that broadband network. Most broadband providers will tell you that, well, it's a best efforts approach. The call may get through, quality may suffer a little bit. When we apply our quality of service technology to it, we can guarantee the quality of that voice call to be as good as a traditional phone call.
And so do you work with the customer to determine what applications have to have the higher priority, which can be lower? It might be a time of day issue also.
Yeah, we have a couple of different things that we can do. We can manually adjust some settings so that if a customer has certain applications at times of day that need the priority, they get mapped into the system that way so that it matches that priority. But one of the great things that we've done with this technology is we've applied what we call a smart classification technique that automatically detects what type of traffic it is. So, for example, my example with the voice call, we can sense when there's voice traffic on the network and automatically give that the highest priority. Our commercial retail customers like this approach because for them, of course, the most important traffic is the point-of-sale machine and to be able to take someone's credit card for payment. So those transactions are automatically fed through at the highest priority.
And if someone like a federal customer had a super high priority, must-have emergency situation, could that be set so that it absolutely overrides everything else if need be?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can work with any customer to determine what the applications are and assign the right priorities based on the system so that that type of data always gets through.
Ricardo Belmar is the Director of Product Marketing for Hughes and EchoStar Company. I'm Tom Temin.